Anyway, my name is Mike Bodwin. For anybody who doesn't know me, I just cordially want to welcome everybody. We're at the stockholders meeting. It's great to be here. So let's give each other a nice round of applause for getting here, having fun last night, and still showing up for the bell. I'm going to spend the next hour-ish helping you leverage the show that we're about to have, as well as go through some of the numbers from the year, how we're planning on finishing the year, and just some of the changes that have happened in the industry since 2019, which has been a very transformational time for the independent channel. Show you some investments that we're making for the future, and then we're here for an actual purpose. This is a member-owned cooperative, and the purpose of the stockholders meeting is to elect new board members, and it's a very important thing that we do, so we're also going to do that as well. Starting off with a little bit of the blocking and tackling of the show, and we do have a heck of a show for you. Congratulations, you made it to the breakfast. That's good. I was worried with all the events last night and the fact that I had to keep the bar open for another hour after the close, that people are actually going to make it, but you did because we're true professionals. I didn't count the next gens though. I don't know how many of them made it, but hopefully all of them. Katie's here. So yes, we have this. Just logistically speaking, we're going from here to the keynote speaker, Molly Bloom. She's actually going to be in the next room right over there. So it's real easy. You go out and take a left. We're going to conduct round robin training after lunch, where you get to pick 3 of the 5 topics that we have here, and I'm going to go into some detail on them next. That's all going to be on this floor as well. So we made it really easy, and this hotel is very, very accommodating. And then we're going to be back here for a happy hour, which is basically another opening reception with open bar music and fun. So, and then tomorrow morning, it's really important that we all show up, regardless of how much fun we have tonight, for the exhibits tomorrow, because we do have a number of suppliers here. One of the things that we wanted to introduce to this show to make it more compelling and more meaningful for you, other than the open bars and the brew tours and all the cool stuff, was to have professional trainers. And one thing I learned in my 7 years in this role is that each of your business is unique, and what you're looking for out of a show is different from each other depending on what's going on in your business. So what we did is we have professional trainers for one. We felt if we're going to invest the time that you deserve the best trainer that we can find. And the 5 that we have here and the topics that we picked is Dan Tratenchek from the NHPA. Dan he just moderated the Next Gen. He does a phenomenal job. And the topic is maintaining a legacy business, which is just a fancy word for succession planning. And Dan's very, very good at that. He's conducted several seminars on succession planning. So if you're next gen or you're thinking of selling your business or you're interested in the topic, I recommend going to that. CBC Decor obviously was purchased by ALLPRO, and we have Ruben Murado. I met Ruben about a year ago, and he's super, super excited for this group and learning it. And he's since hired Reggie back, Reggie Bowles, who I think everybody knows. Claps there, come on, Reggie's back, right? So both Reggie and Ruben are going to be here, and I know they're a very popular breakout since about 99% of you have their ERP system. We also have 5 tips to energize your team and maximize productivity with Kim Feffley. She's also from the NHPA, and that topic is really, we're in full employment, and it's very difficult to find help, and it's more important than ever to keep your talented people, but also, obviously maximize what you can get from your employees, but do it in a way that obviously keeps them and builds your team, and Kim's going to do a great job on that. The next one is near and dear to my heart, TriNet and Baird. It's actually 2 companies coming together for one seminar. And TriNet is a PEO, a professional employment organization. And basically, think of them as a buying group for benefits in HR, if I were to put it in simplistic terms. We, ALLPRO Corporate, belong to TriNet, and it's been an amazing experience. We have employees in several states throughout the country, and for us, it was very important that we had competitive benefits that we can offer our employees, mainly healthcare benefits, and TriNet's done an amazing job. A few years back, we launched a 401k program, which I'm going to give you more information about soon, where we created a MEP, multiple employment plan, basically bringing all of you together and using that scale to offer very competitive 401k rates. Essentially, I wanted to make it so that ALLPRO could offer the same 401k plan as, say, a Sherwin-Williams or a Home Depot or Menards or some of the national chains, and that has grown considerably. So to sum it up, if you're looking for anything HR and benefits, that's a great breakout to go to. And last is loss prevention. You're in your bottom line with Joe Spetz. And Joe actually presented in 2019 at the stockholders meeting and did a great job. Now another topic's not a super exciting one, right? It's loss prevention, but he's excellent. He specializes in the hardware trade. He's very familiar with our size retailer, and he has many tips that can help you watch your bottom line and certainly look for any kind of loss. So these are our breakouts. So you get to go to 3 of them. So I would plan, what are the most important ones? And they're round robin. That means you go in, you're gonna have 50 minutes, then you have 10 minutes to find your next one. And if you came with multiple people, I would recommend dividing and conquering. And the last thing I'd say about this, if the class is full, find another one, okay?
I'm Molly Bloom. Do you know about me?
I read your indictment after I got your call last night, and I bought your book.
Do you understand that you are charged with operating an illegal gambling business?
Are you taking me on as a client?
I don't think I can convince my partners to take a flyer on the poke princess.
If you think a princess can do what I did, you're incorrect.
I'm getting that you don't think much of me, but what if every single one of your ill-informed, unsophisticated opinions about me were wrong?
I'd be amazed.
How cool is that? We have Molly Bloom, right? I mean, we started with keynote speakers about 5 years ago. I think we started with David Brashears, who climbed Mount Everest 7 times, and he came in and talked about, how he built teams and put them together to accomplish that. And then we went from that to Aaron Ralston, another mountain climber who cut his arm off when he got it stuck, who did a great job. Then we did the health fitness with Chris Johnson, had us doing jumping jacks and drinking cod liver oil. Stopped doing that, by the way. Then we had Rudy. I mean, I cried my eyes out with Rudy. So Molly's different, and Molly has a very compelling story as well. And the reason why we picked Molly is, one, I really wanted a female keynote speaker, somebody who is very powerful, strong, and it can overcome adversity. And when you hear Molly's story, she overcame adversity. I don't think any of us can imagine what it would be like to have the FBI and the Russian mob coming at you at the same time. But she did, and she survived it. So she's got a great story, and again, that's next door. All right, just a few more things about the show. Exhibits. We worked hard to put together, obviously, compelling deals. This is obviously a business show as well as it is a networking show, but we do have some new suppliers that I'd like to call out. And the team, the purchasing committee, the ALLPRO office worked really hard to put together programs for you. And so when a new supplier comes on, the better that you can at least engage them and see if it works for your business, it obviously pays off for the supplier in ALLPRO. Starting with CIC Coatings, they're a new lacquer supplier that we brought in about 6 months ago. They're off to a great start. I think they've already billed close to $1 million with 30 members. They also make exterior stains. Family-owned company, the owner here, Hugh Miller, he's here. And we also have Surf Prep. They're an abrasive company with tools very similar to Mirka and Festool. And again, they've been around for some time building up a following, and they have some unique products. So please go see them at the show. Other new-ish is Yankee Majestic, which is bought by True Value and goes by General Paint Manufacturing. So look for one of those 3 names. That's an industrial coatings supplier. We needed that, obviously, with the loss of International Paint, so we'd like to see them do well. Lastly, these are 3 existing programs, Axalta, WorkTools, Wiz, and Gemini. We just created a Canadian program for them, and believe it or not, we have like 20 Canadian members here. Where's Canada? Right there. You got to go see them. We have Canadian programs. Fun. So we have 83 exhibitors, and I could have had 130 if we had a bigger space. It seemed like everybody wanted to come to this show, which is a testament to you. We were able to put at-show promotions for all of them. Can you hear me still? All right. At-show promotions for all of them, so we have some good, compelling deals. And then, like every show, we're offering a cash spiff, which is nice about being back in America. We can offer cash versus when we found out in the Bahamas that they don't have any cash there. So we have cash here, and for every ALLPRO branded order that you buy, that means whatever makes prepaid, and it is a little bit of the honor system, have the supplier sign your spiff form, bring it to the ALLPRO booth, and you can get your cash spiff. We love giving out cash at these shows because it makes you guys so happy. Also, we did the 3M promotion. They actually had product this time, no extra charge for that. So we bought 5 trucks in advance of this. I think we sold 6 trucks. So we recorded your order. If you place the order, you can collect your spiff, or if you want to go place an order, go to the 3M booth and place an order, and we'll have your spiff. So again, makes for a fun show when you have a little extra cash. All right, this is a fun part for me. ALLPRO by the numbers. How many people here were at the spring show? All right, pretty good. Well, at the spring show, I told a story about what it was like, you know, in the Great Recession. I worked for Sherwin-Williams at the time, and, you know, to sign up for a 2% budget was pretty aggressive at that time. And, you know, very, very emotional. My entire career has been spent with you, this channel. I've always been with the independent channel, and it's the only channel I'd ever be a part of. But throughout the earlier stages of my career, you always heard how the independent channel it's shrinking, and Menards is growing, and Home Depot is growing, and Sherwin-Williams. But look what happened to us in the last 4 years. And those bars don't really do it justice. In 2019, we finished the year about $957 million, this group. We're going to finish the year around $1.5 billion this year. It's a $600 million increase. That's the independent channel. We've added retail locations, we've grown, your businesses has grown, and it's a testament to you. It's a testament to our entrepreneur owners. And I just wanted to put that in perspective, how much we've grown over the 4 years. Let's give each other a hand. I mean, it's $600 million. The ALLPRO brand has also grown. Now, we had challenges. We had when you know, obviously the pandemic hit and certain suppliers had to make choices about what they're going to produce and what they weren't, and sometimes we didn't win. Despite that, our numbers have grown since 2019 from around 26 million to close to $39 million. $39 million with the ALLPRO brand. I'm hoping to hit 40 because I gave a budget to the business development team to hit 40. So it cost us a little extra money in bonus, but let's hope we hit 40 million on that. That's larger than most of our suppliers that service the group, $40 million. And you saw the reason we put that Glico video up there, and I'm going to tell you more about that when we get a little further in this presentation. Glico has done a great job over the years building the ALLPRO brand as their dominant brand. If you walked into their store, you'd see that. And they've reaped the benefits of that, both in profitability and exclusivity and being able to differentiate their business. This room, this channel, has built every major brand in our industry. From the Purdy's to the Dutch Boys in its day, to the Cabots, we've built it. And I can't emphasize enough, build your brand. Build your ALLPRO brand. It's owned by this room. And I'm happy to see those numbers because many of you are. Our warehouse business has also grown, and you're going to see me give more information on that as well. Started the year, in 2019, around $13 million. I do believe we're going to finish closer to $28 million this year. And where this has become super valuable is when we had to compete for products, whether you're competing for tape or primers or what, we have the ability to buy, utilizing the buying power of this entire room and go compete with any other channel, whether it's Menards or Home Depot or Sherwin-Williams or whoever. And that's how we've used the warehouses. And you're going to see further on in this presentation, we're going to get more and more creative in how we use them. But those are great numbers, and that's a big deal. Could you ever imagine 10 years ago growing this channel by $600 million in 4 years? You know, back in 2016, when I came on the stage, I think we're at the Diplomat in Florida, and said we will hit $1 billion by 2020. That was a stretch goal, and we just made it, which I'm very proud to say. Never in my dreams have I ever imagined that we would grow by another $400 million after that. And it truly is a testament to you, and you should all be proud of that. And the last thing I'm going to say in this, because I do get emotional about this, I engage our largest suppliers routinely, and I'm always lobbying for our channel. I can sit next to the president of Rust-Oleum, and I'll say, we've grown with you, our share's grown, and you should help us grow more. Your brand is better in this channel than it is in any other channel. We're better partners, and I'm always lobbying on behalf of this to the largest companies. on our behalf. And with those numbers, they're all taking notice. They look at us differently. And I'm very proud of that. And again, it's a testament to you. Fueling our growth, and it's so important to the health of this group and the health of our channel, is new members. We're very fortunate this year to bring in 10 new members. You know why we're fortunate? Because we lost 10 members. We lost 10 members, almost all of them through consolidation, meaning a member bought a member. However, that's a bill too, that's energy, that's an owner, that's ideas that are no longer there. So we've added 10 new members, and many of them are here. I would like to call out the new members. I'd like you to stand. It's important that you do, and just acknowledge who they are. Dekine Paint, Kahului, Hawaii. If everybody in your party could stand. Hawaii's in the house. Fairfield Paint, Lancaster, Ohio. Awesome. Nails Paint, Worcester, Mass. I'm a Massachusetts guy, that's how I knew how to say that. Paint Garden, Riverside, California. Paint Place in the Bahamas. Paint Outlets, Rochester Mills, Michigan. Awesome. Pintura de Mexicali in Mexico. Mexico in the house. Pintura Paint, San Antonio, Texas. Preserve Paint, Vestavia Hills, Alabama. And two more, Westside Decorating Center, Saginaw, Michigan. And hot off the press, our newest member, Hill Country Paint, College Station, Texas. These are our new members. I've seen new members over the last 2 years circulate into committees and add their energy, and to me, it's just what makes the group great. And when you engage the suppliers, you want their best talent, you want their best investments to go to our group. And so for that, they have to have avenues of growth. They have to be able to expand their market share. When someone's career is online, they're going to spend their time where they get the best return on investment. Bringing in new members, giving them new places to grow, makes for a really healthy group. And to me, I went over to the UK before the pandemic when I'm seeing like Allway Tools and different suppliers that probably couldn't spell UK before we brought them into the group. It was really nice to see. Glad they're not in the room to hear that. All right, like every successful business, what you did yesterday doesn't matter as much as to what you're going to do tomorrow. So you go to bed at night wondering how you're going to grow your business forward. Well, this group's no different. And so what we're doing to invest for the future, systems. Yeah, that's real sexy, right? And everyone's like, systems. Well, let me tell you, if we didn't invest in systems, there would have been no way we would have handled that $600 million increase over 4 years. I'm happy to say that we're through our SAP upgrade to 10.0. If anybody have ever gone through an SAP implementation, it takes years off your life. I'm only 25, look at me from this. Wasn't that fun? We also did a new payment portal. I know that wasn't the easiest of launch, and it didn't go as smoothly as I anticipated, and I wish it was better. However, we had to do it. We had a portal sponsored by a company called Zed that's not even Zed anymore. And since we were updating our SAP, we had one shot to do something different. So we went to a developer to develop it specific to our group. And we finally got to the point where obviously it's very functioning now. However, I did get to meet many of your bookkeepers, by the way. And they gave me an unfiltered view of what they thought of our portal. And I did send out flowers and chocolates to a lot of your places. But in all honesty, they helped me. They helped me make it better quickly out of fear for my life. So our portal is certainly better. But the possibilities of the future of this portal, it connects directly to our SAP system. It pulls data using a query in a crystal to give you that invoice. So if you make a change to the invoice, say you were charged freight, or you were charged something you weren't, you can change that invoice in real time. And since you're going to have that connectivity to our systems, the updates that we can do and the features that we can add now truly are limitless. So the pain that it took to get there, and it was painful, will soon be worth it. In addition, very soon we're going to add a payment process to this where you basically can balance your statement and pay your bill all from the portal. So that's coming next. Just some of the ancillary things that we did too. We had to add hardware, more servers and switches and firewalls and whatnot to build out our systems so that we can handle the burst of data. We did purchase a scanning technology called Doc Alpha and Doc Link, which I'm not going to get into, but it's going to help us interface with 200 suppliers who all have varying degrees of sophistication on how they can bill more accurately. And then later in the year, we're looking to add this enable technology that will basically give you more visibility to our VIPs, how we're tracking, what it pays out, and more of a graph type versus the Excel spreadsheet that we have now. So I know it's not sexy, but the systems are important. More fun. For the first time, we're bringing something to market. Candidly, I was afraid about a year and a half ago that Dickies was going to stop shipping this channel. So I can either say, well, that stinks, or try to do something about it. So we tried to do something about it. Through going through that process, we found a company in the UK, and you're going to see them at the show, Access Decor, that showed us a painter's pants that did very well in Europe, but had no idea if it would sell well here. So we brought it in for the spring show, and we sold a pallet of it, and it did amazingly well. So we decided to purchase a container of it. Bottom line is, this is the first time that we're bringing to market a unique product that's exclusive to this group. Cannot be sold. We have an agreement that it's exclusive to this group. It cannot be sold outside of this group. It can't be sold anywhere other than at ALLPRO. So you're going to see this. And think of the possibilities of the future. If we needed a product that isn't available, we could toll manufacture it. We could procure it. We could go spec something. Instead of buying it from a manufacturer, you may just be buying it from your own warehouses. Again, those are the possibilities of a company that keeps evolving and investing to try to be better for our stakeholders. So you should see this in the next few weeks, but you'll also see this at the show tomorrow. You saw, I did mention this in the spring, that we relaunched the ALLPRO University last year. And the first part of that was to basically put in a series of videos, 2-minute videos, very modern, to help you leverage your membership by basically everything you learn in a new member orientation. How to buy direct, code, volume discounts, VIPs, engaging suppliers. The next ones we came out with helps you just navigate our website. The ones that we just launched now are designed for your employees. Help your employees know what ALLPRO is, what it means to be an ALLPRO member, how to sell the ALLPRO brand. Why would you sell the ALLPRO brand? Think about it, when you're asking your employees to sell something that somebody didn't come in asking for, you want to arm them as to the why. And that Glico video is just an example of what they're going to see. To make it more accessible, because it's kind of clunky to go on our website and for your employees, we're going to put it in a YouTube channel, the ALLPRO YouTube page. It's real easy for your employees to click on it and go through some of these modules. But it's a modern way of engaging that anybody can do. And if you haven't gone to it, I do encourage you to go to it and start going through the videos. I mentioned this earlier, the 401k. Jonathan, Garrett, myself had this idea, I think 4 or 5 years ago. How can we create a benefit so that our members can go compete with those national chains? We put together the 401k. We had some immediate success, but then it kind of stagnated. So a new division of Baird, Steve Ellsworth and Marcus Fair, I think you're both here, just put amazing energy into this. And this slide's already obsolete. We have many more members that's even on this. And essentially, it's taking all of our employees and putting it together. And the group pays for it. We pay for the Form 5500 file, which nobody knows what the heck it is, but it sounds cool saying it, as well as the audit, and that does cost a lot of money to do it. So we create the platform, it's paid for, and then you can customize the program to whatever your tolerances are. The one prerequisite is it's legal, and that's what they help you with. But again, we partner with Transamerica, which is I think one of the largest companies for 401k. So if you're interested, if you don't have one, by all means, go look at it. Again, it's a great benefit to the group. And if you do have one, and if you think this could save you some money or your employees some money, certainly look at it. Our warehouses. I announced in the spring that we doubled the size of our Northeast DC. We basically moved into an entire new building. It's about 47,000 square feet, so it's a very large warehouse. Came in really handy when you needed things like traffic paint. Or items that we just couldn't get anymore, and we certainly had the space for that. Last year, we opened up the Kansas City warehouse, which has done amazingly well, its first full year. And where's my West Coast members? Who's on the West Coast? Who buys out of that warehouse? You guys have done amazing. You kill it in that warehouse. Because of that, we decided to double the space. So we signed a lease with the adjoining building, and it's going to be 33,000 square feet, which will give us the opportunity to stock traffic paint, exterior stains, and a whole host of items that could be meaningful for you. Again, we keep investing in this. And the one thing that I would like to say, we have distributor members. We have Johnson Wholesale, Pearson, Pacoa in the Northeast. We have YHD, DFM, Carter's in Canada. Those distributor members are no different than our warehouses. It keeps the volume in the group, gets the VIPs, it just makes us a stronger group. So whether it's one of our warehouses or one of our distributor members, if you need distribution, please look to the group. At home, a big investment. This is something that Michael Weber started with he and Lee, who's also here too, with Gallon Creative. And Michael kind of dragged me to the table on this thing, and he was so right. I mean, it's a huge success. And basically what we do is we engage our supplier partners, we get them to commit advertising money, we build the shell for a spring and a fall. Then you engage the members, and that member can take that shell and customize that magazine. So as you can see there, it's specific to your business. This is something that you hand out in your community, and they go through this decorating magazine. It has unique products that are specific to your business. Instead of going to a national chain, it goes back to your independent. It can tell your story. What I like most about this is just as meaningful to a single store member as it is a 100-store chain. And if you're not familiar with this, please do go to the booth and look at it and look to see what other members did and how they utilized it. All right, this is my favorite part. Building culture. I said this at the spring show, what makes us a great group is our culture. And the example I used is nobody's going to remember the best deal at the spring show, but you're certainly going to remember having fun in the Bahamas. Well, obviously, I'm very prideful for that moment when everybody came rushing into the show. I mean, when you put these on, you get really nervous that people won't come or they won't have a good time. And you saw that video. That's culture. People that were on that brew tour, hopefully they remember it. Assuming that you'll remember it, it builds culture. Our shows build culture. Our next generation builds culture. This is something that has been around for some time in the group in a very small way. We decided, I think, was it 2018? 2018, we brought our first next gen group together in New Orleans. Everybody made it through alive. They started to build in terms of going out and having fun. They started to build a network, which came in really handy as you moved into, obviously, the pandemic. And think about it. People that have been in business for some time and they've been in this group, they walk into a room and they have 30 people they know. Can you imagine being a son or daughter, new to this, earmarked to take over the business and walk into this room and not know a soul, and everybody looks, older or at a different stage in their career than you do? This next gen has been really powerful. How I know that? I was at the CamPro show about a month ago, and I'm walking through their show, and they had a great show. And people came up to me, hey, I heard about this next gen group. I heard about this next gen group. And we have a great next gen committee, so I'm constantly referring them to Patrick Smith or Ash or whoever just to make that contact. And then you saw it. So the next gen's great at getting together, really bad at signing up for getting together. We had 35 next gen sign up, and about 60 showed up. But it's a great group. And now that we're back in business, we're going to get together in January. I'm hoping this is our largest next gen at Benjamin Moore. We get to use their facilities. It's people that don't buy from Benjamin Moore certainly could go there as well. And we're utilizing their facilities. And then, of course, I'm going to mix it with fun and learning, and we're going to go out to New York City. I'm hoping for Greenwich Village, the meatpacking district. I used to live there, so I'm going to go have fun there. But again, it's a great group, it's an investment, it's culture. It jumpstarts the next generation, so they have a peer group that they can utilize, and ALLPRO's their group too. So I got to brag at the spring show that we were going to Dublin. Does everyone remember going to Dublin, Ireland for 2025? Is everybody still excited for that? I know it was a good call when I had certain suppliers say they're extending their retirement beyond that show, so that's a good sign. So now I'm competing with Dublin, so we're going from Dublin to Vegas. Those are two pretty good stockholders meetings. So hopefully you guys are excited. What's exciting about Vegas, other than it's Vegas, is it's a very large property. So we can be creative on how we actually put together the agenda for that show. We can, obviously invite all of our suppliers because we have the space. We can make it resemble more like a second spring show. But anyway, I think it's going to be a good draw. I'm a music guy, so if there's a good act playing at Caesars, perhaps we get tickets. We'll see. With that said, just to do a little selling and get me a drink of water for our next spring show. Since I'm competing with a brew tour, we're going to have a heck of a closing show. Funny story on this. So I'm excited. We did this with Jefferson Starship back in 2019. It was a huge success. Canadians partied with Kathy Richardson so much she forgot anybody but the Canadians, which is a good thing. So I'm at the CamPro show, again, a month ago, and I was fortunate enough to get invited to their board and committee dinner. I had a great time. I'm sitting with Bob and Linda, and this young woman comes over to me, and she's like, "Hey, I'm Katie. I just went to your show in the Bahamas." I was like, "Oh my God, that's great." And like, I love the next gen. I'm so excited for this. And of course, I'm getting goosebumps. I'm like, so excited. And I'm like, "Well, you got to come to the spring show. We have a great band. I mean, we have Styx." She's like, "Who?" I'm like, "Is that an old man band?" So Katie, that's Styx. I told her she's going to be a groupie. So if there's any other Katies out there that haven't heard of it, it's a great band. Guess I'm getting old. All right, so those are the investments. Hopefully you're happy with the investments. As I want to reiterate, I go to bed at night just wanting to make the group better for you. And I mean that sincerely. It's what you do is amazing, and it's my job to get better for you. And so we'll always look to make investments and keep this group moving forward. What's very important for this group is that we have great boards, we have great committees, because this is a member-owned cooperative. And part of this is my job, which is a little unique in a sense, is I work very closely with a board president. That is the point contact. I mean, I work with the entire board, but I don't have a natural boss in the next office. It's your board president that I work with daily. And the uniqueness of the job is that board president turns over time. And so like there's a hard stop to a relationship. It's like, I get used to calling them at 6 o'clock at night and the weekends. I'm sure they don't miss it as much as maybe I do. However, there's an emotional part to that. And I do want to make an acknowledgement. Josh Johnson, again, everybody who was at the spring show, then Josh Johnson's been our board president for a year. It's a short time to be a president. However, Josh Johnson's been on the board since 2016. That's 6 years. And if anybody knows me, you know I like my PowerPoints, as you can see. And so think about this. At an average board meeting, I have about 50 PowerPoint slides, which takes about 7 to 8 hours. You saw some of the clips of them sitting in there. So think about it from Josh's perspective. 2 meetings a year, that's 100 slides times 6 years. He had to sit through 1,200 slides of PowerPoints on your behalf. And to make matters worse, he was the secretary, which means he actually had to pay attention and take notes through those 1,200 slides. I think you should give him a hand for that. And I feel very free to call you work all day, so you call at night, but the board president, in all seriousness, and the board in general, and the committee chairs, they work so hard, and I engage them. I work hard, so by nature, I'm going to engage them, and Josh has done an amazing job. He's been with me basically my whole tenure, and I didn't know Josh when I got into this role, which is weird since we both grew up in Massachusetts. We're both Patriots fans, both in the paint business. We're both about the same age, and apparently we knew some of the same people in college. But one of the benefits, and I'm going to say this sincerely, is, I'm losing Josh as a president, but I like to think I gained a friend. And I'd like to have you come up, Josh. We got Josh an award. It says, in grateful appreciation for your years of outstanding leadership and devotion to ALLPRO Corporation, presented to Josh Johnson. Thank you, Josh. Thank you so much, Josh. Appreciate it, man. Yeah. All right, cool. A lot of the members are new, and a refresher for some of the members that aren't new is our structure. It's easy for me to, good luck flying home with that, by the way. There's a box there. It's easy for me to say it's a member-owned cooperative when you see me a lot. But in reality, the members have a big say and a big impact on everything that happens in the group, and they do it through their committees. We have 3 committees and a board of directors. We have a decorating committee with Sharon McGuckin. Stand up. She's our committee chair. Purchasing committee with Michael Gleason. Stand up. Where's Michael? Where is he? All right, Michael. Next Gen committee extraordinaire, Patrick Smith from Regal. Heck of a job, Patrick. Heck of a job. And we have our board of directors. Again, the committees, you saw some of the glimpses. Like you guys got here in many cases, except for the Next Gen who's been partying for 2 days, last night. The committees got here 2 days earlier, and they go through an all-day session. We work them hard. It's not a twice-a-year event anymore. It's a 12-month event where we're constantly engaging in conference calls, Zooms. So we're a full-time job with our committee. So they work very, very hard. I do want to acknowledge some outgoing committee members. We're going to send you a plaque at your house for this. Reagan Meyer for Standard Flooring and Decorating Committee, 2020, 2022. Reagan. Corey Turner, who's not here, Johnston Paint Purchasing Committee, 2020 through 2022. Rachel O'Connor, General Paint, Next Gen Committee, 2022. Where's Rachel? All right. And near and dear to my heart, David Cohn, Catalina Paint, Board of Directors. Again, for 6 years, David stood through those same PowerPoints. So let's give David a really big hand. Awesome. All right, let's talk about the board and just the seriousness of the board. This is straight from our bylaws, if you're not familiar. Subject to any limitations set forth in the Articles of Incorporation, the affairs of the business of the corporation will be managed under the direction of, and its corporate powers exercised by, or under the authority of the Board of Directors, which basically means Anything that we do, from bringing in a new member, adding a new supplier to the ALLPRO brand, removing a member, removing a supplier, or any of the true business functions, goes with the approval of the board of directors. So truly, it is a member-owned cooperative, and you are the decision makers for the group. The nomination process is basically the current president, the immediate past president, and the executive vice president, me. So think about that. That's 2 members and me who put together the nomination process for your board. And our goals are basically to find a board that resembles this room. It's really important. Find qualified board members that place the needs of the group over the needs of the individual business and are representative of the geographic and demographic profile of the overall group. That means we can't have 9 board members from New England. That means we can't have 9 5-store chains. We have to have a board that resembles you because you have different eyes and different ways of looking at the business. And there's been such courageous board members that truly have taken the needs of the group over their individual businesses, which means they make decisions that could hurt their individual business but help the overall group. If we do our job right, and if you were to approve the ballot that we're going to put in front of you, this is what you're going to get. On our board, we're going to have 4 next gens. That's 4 people that are in their 30s or 40s that took over ownership or in a general manager position of their businesses. 2 female board members. Why I say that? Our group's been around for 62 years. It took 60 years to get our first female board member, which isn't good. I'm glad to say that we have 2 female board members, and we'll have more. You should get a hands for that. 3 paint manufacturers, 3 mid-size members. These mid-size members on this ballot range from 1 store to 5, and 3 large retailers, anywhere 20+ stores. The geographies include the Northeast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and Canada. That's a pretty representative board, wouldn't you say? So this year's board members that are with their term expiring is David Cohn, who we mentioned, who finished his 2nd term, Anthony Ward at Farrell Calhoun, his 1st term, Walter Rafalski, Adelaide's Paint, his 1st term. And the nominees are Matt Rossi with Rossi Paint, who represents a mid-sized member in the Northeast, Anthony Ward, Farrell Calhoun, who represents a paint manufacturer in the Midwest, and Walter Rafalski from Adelaide's Paint, who represents a mid-sized member from the Southeast. Those are the nominees from the nomination committee. The room has the right to nominate somebody. If anybody has a nomination, let it be known. If not, can I have a motion to approve the slate? Excellent. Can I have a second? All in favor? Thank you. I mean that sincerely. We have a great board. And with that said, I do want to invite up your new board president. Let's give Mike Weber a hand. You don't have to run.
Well, by the way, if you don't know me, I'm Mike Weber. I work for Hirschfield's in Minneapolis. I've been trying to avoid this position for about 40 years. Somehow I got roped into it, but it's an honor to be here, okay? Little history of myself. I started with Hirschfield's probably 39 years ago. I started as their controller. At the time I started, people in the organization took bets that I wouldn't last very long, and here I am 39 years later, still working for Hirschfield's and still part of the paint business. I really find that the paint business is really it's a fun business. It grows on you. And I think everybody in here, whether you're a general manager, an owner, you all recognize how much it does grow on us. And we all enjoy the companionship that we share in that business. I do want to take just a minute to actually thank Josh for his service. I know we've already done that, but he's been an inspiration for me in this process. Again, Josh. You know, Mike and the staff, give all the recognition to us as members. But in reality, our organization has grown, and a lot of the vision that has come going forward as our organization is a result of Mike and the staff. And I think he's up here and he's giving everybody else recognition, but we really need to give Mike and all the staff, which is down here. Stand up, staff. I'm not going to be up here very long, but I do want to kind of start a Weber Award going forward if we can, okay? We do have a board and committee dinner the night before we go into our meetings. And this particular year, I had the honor of sitting at a table that was by far the rowdiest table. And so what I'd like to do, hopefully as I leave the organization, is I like every year somebody to, the board come to a decision at one of these dinners that we actually recognize the rowdiest table. And people know me and they think I'm the rowdy one, but I really wasn't. So at that point, I think the people on that table know who they are, so I'd like to actually recognize them at this point. So can you stand up?
Where's Bridget?
So you always have to mix, pleasure with work, and I think that's what we all do here. One of the things I enjoy most about this group is just having an opportunity to have a great conversation around a drink and around just dinner or something like that. So with that being said, because you guys know I'm a person of little words, okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike, and I sincerely appreciate, on behalf of all of us, your recognition. And again, I always preach, this isn't our show, it's your show. But it is nice to be recognized, and we want to make it a great show for you. So part of the strategy of the agenda is not to overschedule you. I learned that early on when I did overschedule you, and somebody wanted to tie me up. So, not really, but bottom line is we're going to finish here. We have an hour before we have to go and see Molly. And Molly, I can't wait to see what that's going to be like, her presentation. So take the hour, obviously do what you need to do, stay here, drink coffee or whatnot, but let's make sure that we're in, obviously early so that we can sit down, and all the suppliers are going to be coming to that as well. And that's it. Let's have a great show, okay? Thank you.